So for startups, time is of essence, right? Everybody wants to move fast. So in many cases, yes, you could do surveys and then interviews and then user sessions, but realistically, sometimes you just don't have the time. So I think the most important step is you have the problem you're trying to solve. What is the minimum viable way of just figuring it out now and then moving faster once you do it? In some cases, for example, if you're doing a website update, the easiest way to go forward is to run a messaging panel or to run some user sessions and then see how people interact with your website before you go live. This way, you can launch more confidently because you've figured out what the possible hiccups in the flow are and why people might be dropping off, and address them before you launch the updated website. So this is ideal, and this can take less than 2 weeks if you are being very productive and focused. Like if you have like 10 other growth initiatives you're dealing with at the same time, it might take a little longer, but it doesn't have to. But if you have more ambitious growth projects where you really need to work on multiple types of collateral, then it might make sense to move a little slower and schedule some customer interviews so that you have the research to rely on to inform like those multiple pieces of collateral at once. Sometimes, if you have enough customers, you can be ambitious and send out a survey to all of them, and then use this as a pre-screening, so to speak, so that you can identify the people who are really motivated, interested, and leave detailed answers. So those are the people you will want to follow up with to go in depth and run those customer interviews. Because surveys are amazing, but they can go wrong if you forget to ask why. So my favorite example is sending out NPS surveys. Well, yes, you will get that Net Promoter Score. Yes, you can track it over time. But did you ask your customers why they gave you that score? If you didn't, you're missing an opportunity to find out more and to figure out what it is exactly that you need to improve. Without it, NPS is just a vanity metric, and I could go on about this for hours. It's my least favorite type of survey, to be honest. But going back to longer surveys. So for example, if you're working on your website messaging, on your messaging overall, you could use the survey to figure out of all the options that you think are viable, what is your customers think is the most important. And then if you're running interviews, you can ask them why. And knowing this why will give you their pain points, the outcomes that they achieve with the help of your product, and also the background information that you can use for your social media, for your content, for your ad funnels, and for your landing pages. Because as long as it follows the problem agitation solution formula, you need ideally voice of customer research to fill those out, to make them memorable and sticky, and to get your prospects to convert.